This is Jay Teaches Reading for All, Lesson 91. In this lesson, we're going to look at some more contractions. There are so many contractions in the English language that I broke them up into two lessons. We're going to look at contractions like there, coming from they are, with the apostrophe right here, taking the place of the A. We saw in the last lesson, lesson 90, that this little apostrophe oftentimes takes the place of more than one letter. 2, 3, maybe even 4, like in the contraction I'd, that little apostrophe took the place of 4 letters. This little guy can be a bully. Okay, we'll see in some of these other contractions whether he remains a bully in some of these other ones. All right. Now we're going to review. And in the reviews, I need to tell you teachers that I'm pretty sure I forgot to remind you to do spelling tests. Some of you may have just gone ahead and done them. If not, then I think it would be a good idea to have the students try some of these words. They're longer words, they're harder words, but you can help them with the syllables. So, for example, if you're having them spell unavailable and they're having difficulty, spell that first, which can be any vowel. In this case, it's a veil, bull. And since we're doing a bull words, they probably get the A-B-L-E ending. But these are tough. So not only tough to spell, they're tough to pronounce because they're longer. This word right here, usable, is 3 syllables, usable, and the rest of them are more than 3 syllables. So these are longer words, and we'll see how you do, students. Say these before I do. Shakeable, believable, noticeable, reasonable, unavailable, usable. So teachers have students read these to you, and if you've not given them a spelling test, pick out a couple of them and see how they do. Press pause. Now we're going to do the I-B-L-E ending words, still pronounced a bull. And students say these before I do. Tangible. By the way, I've not said this before, but it's kind of interesting. Tangible has the NG combination, which is usually ng. So we normally think of this as tangible, but it's not pronounced that way. Sometimes the combinations don't work the way they normally would, and in this case we've got tangible. So that's English for you. Sometimes tricky. Next one. Edible, gullible, sensible, audible, convertible, horrible, flexible. Again, teachers have students read these to you, and if you have not done a spelling test, pick out a couple, give them a test on them. Now we start into our contractions. And students, say these before. I do, I am equals I'm. I will equals I'll. I have equals I've. I would, I'd. You are, you're. You will, you'll. You have, you've. He is, he's. He will, he'll. He would, he'd. She is, she's. She will, she'll. She would, she'd. We are, we're. We will, we'll. We have, we've. Get this on screen. We would, we'd. I think I've got them all on screen now. Teachers have students read these to you. You can have them read the two words that make the contraction, or you can do like I did and read the two words that make the contraction and just have them read the contraction. It's up to you. After you have them read this, if you have not had them practice spelling, I'd pick out three. Maybe one contraction with the I, one with the you, one with the he or she, or maybe substitute we, whatever strikes your fancy. Press pause. Okay, as advertised, we've got lesson 91 with more contractions. So we've got they are becoming their, they will becoming they'll, they have becoming they've, it is, its, is not, isn't, are not, aren't, was not, wasn't, were not, weren't, do not, don't, does not, doesn't, will not, won't, would not, wouldn't, could not, couldn't, should not, shouldn't, has not, hasn't, and have not, haven't. So once again, we see this little apostrophe, being bossy, being a bully, and taking the place of more than one letter sometimes. Here in they are, it's just one letter, but in some of these others, it takes the place of more than one letter. So we're not surprised about that. Although in most of these cases, it's just one. It kind of behaves itself on this page pretty well, actually. I think, again, I've got everything on the page that you can see. So have the students say these to you. I would have them say the two words and then the contraction, just like I did. That's what I would do. And again, pick out three for spelling. Press pause. Okay, our next lesson, lesson 92, we're going to have two endings, IER and IEST. And these endings help us compare things. If you're comparing two things and want to show that one is more than the other, you use IER, ER. For example, let's say a lady is looking at dresses, and she looks at one dress, and then she looks at another dress, dress number 2, and she says, dress number 2 is prettier than dress number 1. When you're comparing two things, you use ER to show which one is more than the other. And then she looks at a third dress and she says, wow, this is the prettiest dress of all. So when you're comparing more than two things, you use EST as your ending to show that it's the most of something. All right, so we'll find out more about these endings and how they're used in lesson 92. See you there.